Welcome back. You're listening to Get Real with Bob and Stacy. Stacy's not with us for this segment today, but we have a very special guest in the studio, Jay McHugh with LAER Real Estate. How you doing, Jay?
Good, Bob. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again.
So we wanted to talk today a little bit about real estate. We'll start with. Why don't you tell us what's going on in your world over at LAER Realty?
Real estate market is good. We've had a good run for the last 2 or 3 years. We are looking at some prospects of a recession coming up. Next 18 to 26 months, mark my words. Why is that? I've just been looking at some of the data, some of the homes I've sold over the last 23 years, and I'm seeing a very, very similar pattern of the last recession where prices have gone an exceedingly higher than even the listing price, but the rents don't support those particular prices. So we're going to have a change in the Oval Office soon, and that's going to have some changes in our banking industry as well as our mindset. And because of those kind of challenges, we might see a slowdown. A good friend of mine once told me a few years ago at the golf course that recessions will happen. They take a little longer and they last a little longer, and as we get closer into the technology world that we have, they come sooner, but they dissipate sooner as well. So the good news is that we know there will be a recession or a slowdown, but it will leave us a lot quicker than it did in the past, specifically this last recession that we had.
Right. That one lasted for, what, it seemed like 7-8 years.
The total time would say top market 2006, August, and I think we finally got out of it probably winter of 2013.
Yeah. So 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. That was a long one. That wasn't fun for anybody.
No, and basically, as people will say, you don't know you're in a recession until you look back, and you don't know you're out of the recession until you look back. But we do know that they're coming.
Yeah. Well, there's really no way to avoid it. What goes up must come down, right?
Well, the good news, there's always death, there's always divorce, there's always transplants coming in and out, there's always going to be business. It's how you make that business your own, and that's where you're always educating yourself onto the new technologies, the new laws, banking laws, real estate guidelines, etc., so that you can provide those services to your clients and your relationships and rainmakers.
If you think that there is a recession coming, and there probably is, I mean, at some point it'll come. We don't really know when, but if there is a recession coming in the next year to 3, or say year and a half to 3 years, do you think that's going to impact prices, or you think because we're still so short on inventory, it might not be as big of a drop?
Oh, I do think that the prices will be affected, and that is just because there's so much information out there. When we're in a recession, the consumers can go to the particular sites that they can get that latest trend of where the market is, what prices are doing, and come in with offers, etc. And of course, the sellers who may need to sell because of loss of job or other areas are going to look to the market so that they can sell. So they can sell mom and dad's house who are in a nursing home, or they can sell because they want to move to a warmer part of the country, a warmer climate. So I think that information is a telltale sign that the consumer will be able to see the trends, and then they'll be able to act on those trends. And if they're seeing that gloomy doom news that we just talked about coming out of the media, whether it's newspapers or print or just on cable, they're going to use that information to get a lower price on their homes.
Right. Now, with the Chinese economy, I don't want to say failing, but certainly slowing to a large degree, if that puts a damper on all the foreign money coming in, especially to the Boston market, do you see that impacting prices down there too? Because we hear crazy stories out here about properties in Boston, that start out in the $900 to $1 million range, selling for $100,000 over asking price to an all-cash foreign buyer. Do you think that will result in prices falling, or do you think it'll just be a little less competitive and people might actually have a shot at getting the houses they bid on?
I think it's the second part of your statement, simply because you're right. Those areas where academia, the hospital, the financial world, the downtown areas, the waterfront, etc., they are getting a lot of foreign investment money. So I do think it will slow down. It won't have the drop that you see in the burbs, 128 out to 495 and all the way out to Springfield, but you will see a slowdown, definitely.
Yeah, which probably isn't a bad thing. I mean, with the prices escalating the way they did in the Boston market, I mean, you take a city like Chelsea, which isn't, among the most desirable, certainly. 3, 4, 5 years ago, you could buy a multifamily for 150 to 200,000, and in fact, that's where a lot of people would end up going because they couldn't afford to be closer to the city than that. Now you go down there and it's $400,000 or $500,000, and not even that great a shape as far as the properties go. But again, you can't get any closer unless you have pretty close to seven figures these days.
I would agree, and I think those are some of the areas that you'll see a big spike that you're seeing, and you'll see a big drop. I mean, we have a couple of things locally, casinos up on the North Shore coming in, the stock market that has been dropping over the last 4 weeks, et cetera, the job market reports, et cetera, the new administration coming in the next 8 months, 10 months, 12 months. So we're going to see a lot of changes, and I think that's the forecast that people should not bite off more than they can chew. They should lock in these great long-term interest rates, and they should be looking for multiple streams of income to protect themselves in the event that the recession does last longer than what I anticipate.
And when you say multiple streams of income, what are you getting at there, Jay?
Well, I think we can all see that some jobs are going overseas, and some presidential candidates are saying that they're going to bring those jobs back. But frankly speaking, people should not put all their eggs in one basket when they have the opportunity to be doing other things. For instance, the internet, whether it's writing a book, whether it's beginning a blog, whether it's having another source of income, whether the husband and wife has a passion, get involved in something like that so that you can have another stream of income coming in case your industry is affected by this potential recession or this change of administration in the White House. And if you're thinking about that now, good for you. But if you're not thinking about it now, and it does happen and it does come, because history does leave clues, success does leave clues, be prepared that you can prepare yourself to have another stream of income, whether it's bartending, whether it's blogging, whether it's home-based business, et cetera, because that will protect you in case there is a recession that does affect your industry.
Right. So you always want to have a backup plan.
Absolutely. Life is short, so go out and do something that's creative that can bring you that multiple stream of income that can then become very important to you.
Absolutely. Now, you cover what, from Littleton all the way into downtown Boston now, right?
That's correct.
And up and down the 128 corridor as well?
That's my bread and butter right there. Been there for 23 years, and just love helping people. 95% of my business is a referral-based business, and love sitting down with people, helping them buy a home or sell their home, either to get a bigger home or downsize, get them to Myrtle Beach, Florida, Arizona, California, things like that.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now, tell me a little bit about Littleton. That's a town that's getting pretty built up all of a sudden, it seems.
Yeah, Littleton's pretty good. I came from Dedham, West Roxbury, moved up to Lowell. Now I'm out in Littleton with my family. In-laws are in Westford, and Littleton is a little town that's now having some big roots. So they put some nice shopping plaza called The Point right there, exit 31, between 30 and 32, and it's nice. They're having a movie theater, a great market basket, great school system, great police, fire, but not too far from the city of Boston or New Hampshire. Route 2, get up to Nashua very quickly, down 495 to Rhode Island in an hour and 15 minutes. So my wife and I are very, very happy over at Littleton.
It's a nice area. It's a little better price, too, than Westford, right? I mean, Westford's another one of those towns that seems to have gone nuts price-wise.
Westford's very expensive. They have a very good technology belt. They get a lot of engineers and computer data people, et cetera, getting themselves situated in those great tech companies, and therefore the prices of Westford certainly move and shoot forward for new construction and second, resells, et cetera, from the turnover in the industry.
And Littleton has a fair amount of new construction these days, too, doesn't it?
They do. I wouldn't say it's off the chart. There's no huge 100-home subdivisions, things like that. But they have enough building permits that are going on, between 16 and 30 a year.
Yeah. Oh, so not a ton, but still something.
That's correct.
Well, that's good. That's good. Now, you're also involved in a system called SendOutCards, which I will endorse you now. You taught me how to use a system. I can't say enough about it, but I don't want to explain it. I couldn't do it justice. Why don't you tell us a little bit about SOC?
Sure. SendOutCards is an online greeting card company that allows folks to use their computers, their tablets, their iPhones to create a card from scratch or use one of the 15,000 default cards to reach back to their friends, family members, recipient, customer, client, to just say thanks, put the words that are from them, not the words that are pre-written from a traditional card. They also can attach a simple gift like a bookmark or some brownies or a premium collection of goodies that builds and cements a relationship better than any other system that I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So when someone starts to see the importance of what I call people count, numbers don't, they start to see their business spiral upward. We tend to run around trying to do things that we think might work, but if we focus more on people, we stand to do better in our businesses. I like to tell people that I'm not asking folks to shift and send out 7,000 postcards to people that they don't know, like, or trust, but I would coach my clients to send out 200 people that would come to their wake, their funeral, or more importantly, their wedding. Mm. And if we focus and put our time, energy, and effort in those 200 people, you'll start to see repeat business, referrals, testimonials, endorsements. You'll just do a better piece of business. And one of my clients obviously has done extremely well growing the real estate business, mortgage business, insurance business, because they remind me of the Zappos, the Amazon.coms, the Starbucks, the Apples of the world, that they might not have the best product or service, but they certainly have the best collection of people, whether they're the customers, the end customers, or the employees that strive to do better each and every day. And again, if we focus on people, not on numbers, we stand to do much better in our own businesses.
Mm-hmm. And this SendOutCard system, who's it best for? Is it only for people in sales, or would you recommend it to others as well?
I recommend it to everyone. It's like having a cable account. It's like having a mobile phone. Mm-hmm. The world is devoid of appreciation. We tend to get away from saying thank you, I appreciate you, sorry for the loss of a pet, etc., because we think a text or an email is sufficient. Yet, if we go to our mailbox today, whether it's personal or our business mailbox, we'll see what I call our credit card bill, our credit card application, mm-hmm. our IRS notice, our mortgage payment late, our Roach Brothers or Hannaford or Market Basket flyer saying that milk is on sale for $2.99 for the last 51 weeks. So when you go into your mailbox, personal or business, and you pull out a card and or gift from a gentleman named Bob Gallagher from Ross Mortgage, it says, Jay, I'm grateful and appreciative of your business. Mm-hmm. Please contact me for anything in the future. You've been a treat to work with. Please enjoy these treats, you and Stacy and Ocean. Thank you very much, Bob. Wow. Thank you very much, Bob, for that gift last month, and we did appreciate that, and that's why you're so successful. Now, the folks on this call, you might say, wow, that's really incredible, Jay. Do you really do that? Does Bob really do that? Absolutely. We're separating ourselves from our competition, mm-hmm. and I can't find a better system to do that in a much fun, comfortable, high-integrity way to reach back and say thank you. We're grateful and we appreciate your business.
Right.
There's no spam. There's no antivirus. You'll find that the quality of the card is excellent. The quality and the volume of gifts to select is unbelievable. Store is open 24/7, whether it's a hurricane or a blizzard. And I just love sharing some great ideas with folks to help them understand how powerful this system is.
Right. I can't say enough about it. I actually read the book that Cody Bateman wrote, Promptings.
Yeah.
Because you'll have those things that pop in your head. You know, I should send a birthday card to my nephew, or I should do this, or I should do that, and you never quite get around to it. You know, I don't want people thinking I don't get gifts for my nephews, because of course I do. But there's little things that you just, you think I should do this or I should do that, but the next time you're at the store, you got 20 other things on your mind and you forget yet again. So all this time goes by, and then you finally remember an 8th time, and now, well, it's too late. I'll just worry about it next year. But after reading that book, Promptings, being able to act on it when something in your head clicks and you think, wow, I should send so-and-so a card or gift or whatever it happens to be, to actually be able to log on and do it in, I would say, a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. I mean, you couldn't even get in your car and start it up and get out of the driveway to go to the store, and you're actually done. You've done it. Mm-hmm. It's been a huge benefit to me, especially with not just with customers. It's employees, coworkers, vendors, customers. It's everybody. It makes it so easy to stay in touch with people and appreciate them for all the things that they do for you.
I echo that, Bob. Then the thing that helps you become disciplinarian in that is you start to do it more and more often. And the beneficiary of it can be the receiver, but it's also you. You become a better person. You know, you're more patient. You're more empathetic, sympathetic. You have more time with your clients instead of being rushed off the phone because you know you're going to have a flood of new clients and repeat clients. So it's a wonderful thing. And in just this interaction that we're having, we get to trade great stories. I was with a client today, and I shared one I call my favorite ice cream story. You know, hopefully I have some time to share it here. So I sent this gentleman a nice 2-pack of brownies with the recipe for success. And the recipe for success was put one of them in the freezer. And then around the third period against the Bruins-Montreal Canadiens game, take it out of the freezer, put it in a bowl, put a scoop of vanilla ice cream, go to your cordial bar and take out your favorite cordial, whether that might be Bailey's or Frangelico. Mine is Zambuca. Sprinkle a little Zambuca on the top. By the time you get to the last bite where the chocolate brownie is melted with the vanilla ice cream, with that last bite of Zambuca all mixed together, you'll sleep like a baby.
That's a good story.
And you won't care if the Bruins beat Montreal or Montreal beat the Bruins.
That's a
You'll
good one.
wake up, you'll kiss your wife, your children, your dog, and you'll say, I'm having a great Friday. So those are the stories that we share with folks.
Right.
And when that happens, they're going to be top of mind aware of your business when they hear someone in the need of mortgages, in the need to get a new job at a great company called Ross Mortgage, or the need to affiliate themselves with LAER Realty Partners. And that's what's great about it, is that we're connecting people in a much more positive way. And one thing that I find that's very fascinating is that we have been using SendOutCards all our life. We just use it with a different vendor. We go to Hallmark, we go to CVS, we go to Walmart, we go to No-Mart, we go to This Mart, and we buy a generic card that means nothing, that we try to match up. We end up sending it off, and the receiver sees a pre-written message, and they say, wow, Jay really rushed through that card. Now we don't have to do that. We can include the picture of the person by putting the picture into the card. We can turn the font. We can change the font depending upon the receiver. So if it's an older person who might have some challenges in seeing it, you can make the font bigger. If it's a child, you can make the font in a more funny way, and that's the power of SendOutCards, allowing you to create that card from scratch.
Excellent, excellent. Anybody that's interested in talking to Jay about buying or selling real estate, or interested in hearing more about SendOutCards, you can email him at j@jmchugh.com or call him 617-699-7442, or connect with him on social media. You can just Google Jay McHugh.
JAYMCHUGH, and you'll find me, and you'll find Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, and love to connect and share some of these great ideas.
Excellent. Thanks for coming on the show, Jay.
Thanks again, Bob. Have a nice week.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more after this.